please welcome Professor Juha Roning on stage.
Thank you very much from the organization side inviting me this Nepal. It's my pleasure to be here. It's the first time in Nepal, and I was already enjoying when I was arriving here from the airplane, the great views and the great place you have here. It's very good experience from my side. Also, I would like to thank very wise and mature words of Prime Minister Sharma Oli. I was very interested to listen your thoughts, and I'm quite convinced that your thoughts are in a good way for the digitalization of Nepal. My special thanks to Bikash Gurung inviting me here, and we have had very good discussions earlier, and at the end I would like to also perhaps invite him to be and be our guest in the coming event. Unfortunately, I'm not that well prepared in the sense of supporting all the travels and things which are extraordinary, but what have to me from your side. So your kindness, friendliness is overwhelming, and my big thanks on that. I have a couple insights which I want to share with you, and I will start with these and repeat them at the end. We are now considering, and I mean really considering, what is our position on AI. Surely the Commission already announced a couple of years ago, when the new framework was prepared, that AI will be very big and actually overwhelming everything. This is fine, but still we have to acknowledge the current situation, that AI, the models which we can use or which are available for use, are developed by global companies. And there is a danger which we need to challenge. So one of the things which I want to share with you, which is also concerned how the AI can be used and should be used in Nepal for the future, is that there has to be this ethical and responsibility attitude. And I'm bringing in this talk some thoughts about regulation, perhaps even the standards, so that we need to have this kind of global rules so that we can use it and the AI in a good ways and practices which we have acknowledged. And that way we can work together and also help the future of Nepal country. The other thing which I want to bring you, that from my thoughts, and I will put it in simple way, AI does not do anything. AI is good tool, but to make it as a good tool, you have to understand where you are applying it. Therefore, all the youngsters, listen carefully. You have to learn your stuff. You have to be expertise on your area. And then, and only then, you can use AI in a good way. So that you understand what it is proposing. It's very good tool, wonderful tool, but you have to have your knowledge to use it in a good ways. Those are the two things which I would want to share you with this talk. But then I'm euRobotics, so I'm there as a vice president on research, and with this capacity, I'll first introduce what kind of association we are. So we are the largest network of robotics and business in Europe, 250 member organizations, so we don't accept individual members. We have been existing 20 years and been able to create a strong connection between research organization, industry, and wider ecosystem. The engine, how we work, is the grassroots groups which are covering robotic-related themes, including perception, mechatronics, AI, cognition, and etc. That way, we have been able to harness all the expertise which we have in Europe. We manage also a range of European scale events and regular meetings. And we need to collaborate in European level. So we have very strong links to European and national policymakers. Here are some examples of the events which we are organizing. So we have a European Robotics League, which is a series of competitions. That way we like to raise the awareness, exploring alternative approaches, and surely also having fun. Robotic research is fun, so I enjoy it and have been enjoying all my life. We are also now heading European Robotics Week. Actually, I'm traveling in 2 weeks in Zaragoza, where we have large meetings on that part. And our flagship event is European Robotic Forum. We arrange it annually. Next year, it will be in Stuttgart, Germany, 25th to 27th of March. Last year, we had already 1,100 participants on that. And this is not a scientific conference. It's a networking conference. And this is what I think is very important. You can do a deep research, getting good knowledge, which can be shared. But you have to connect that knowledge with the companies who can make the products and make it work in a good way. And in these events, I am representing the science part, the research part, but there are big companies, smaller companies, and all the enterprises together, and we have normally 3-4 days discussions how to do the future in a good way. So then, to the moral of this story. So, if we look back, what does a robotics mean nowadays? Surely, it is a science of integration. And now comes the strong risk which we have if we just rely that AI will do everything. Most of the components which we have are not related in AI in robotics. We have mechanism, drivers, gears, power supply, low-level controllers, sensors, external control systems, safety components, user interfaces, and so on. So more and more are AI-driven. That's fine. And we have applications which are using AI in some functions. But we have to understand what the AI is doing. It is not just a black box which solves everything. So AI is mainly used as an application level, but on the hardware and its relating components not. Some components, such as safety cameras, maybe use AI in the future and also today, but that has to be safe and fully certifiable so that we understand what we are doing. We have path planning, we have control, we have sensor integration. I think that we still need quite strong development and research when we are using the components to tame the combination of hardware and software. So what is ongoing now and what are the challenges on robotics? And now I am talking with European voice. We, as what I am representing, are saying that AI is made in Europe. And when it is made in Europe, it is made for robotics. So, from my point of view, the modern systems and software architectures are far away from plug and play. We create programs, and quite often they have mistakes, flaws, errors, bugs, and that can cause a lot of problem. If there is heavy machine and a bug in your software. It's a very risky combination. So we have AI and still very massive initiatives ongoing. We want to have safe, trustworthy machines. And that's the why we need to understand what we need to standardize so that all the parts are efficient, interoperable, safe, and secure to be used. A lot of testing, proofing are needed, and there I see a lot of work to be done. And the only way to do this in a good way is to start collaborate. So, answer how to ensure that AI-powered robots work in European way. We can look a little bit back. So, in automotive, in the early days when it was developed, every car was different. Every part, every component was different. And if you needed a spare part, they really didn't fit together. So now we have totally different. All over the market players from the world, they can use different parts and be sure that they will fit together. Why that is? There are regulations, rules, standards, which says how to use them together. So the need in the hardware level was pushed forward to the software and AI. That's the way I think it should be done. So I see that the development in the automotive sector could be the blueprint for the robotic sector. So how to ensure that AI-powered robots work in European way? First, we need to address the requirements. Legislation, we have them in Europe. We have AI Act, we have Data Act, we have even AI Office now arranged by the Commission. Technical regulations, machinery regulations. Surely we have also the healthcare part, which was mentioned earlier in the discussion. And we don't, and we shouldn't ever forget cybersecurity, usability, acceptance. Otherwise, you can't reach any market, or you can not survive in any market. So if we follow these, this could help to speed up the development of a global robotic ecosystem that can then open for new approaches and all sorts of companies. And this is what I urge also Nepal to join and to start working together. I don't want that these global companies will rule our future. So what is needed in the future? From technical side, there are many AI technologies which are not yet ready to deal with the real world. So I think that significant research is needed to ensure that AI can be used in that context. There are many things which are potential areas for optimization, for example, in different levels, user interfaces, AI for improving the components, and so on. From the economic side, we need development on common rules. Could be standards, so that we can more easily integrate and make the parts interoperable. We also need to develop a supply chain and an ecosystem for companies of all sizes globally, and that way we can work together. So to conclude my talk, we as the global robotic community need to bring ability to integrate and use AI into all components and systems parts. We have to understand what we are doing. So the moral of the story is that we need to understand how we are using the AI in our robotic system. This understanding can come if you have your good knowledge, expertise on the area where you are applying the AI. If you apply AI as a black box and it is controlling a big hardware, you might be in danger. So that's the message I want to bring you. And then back to the invitation to here, I would like to invite your representatives, especially your president on Robotics Society, because if possible, to come and see ERF 2025, where we have our own annual meeting. It has been my pleasure to be here and to talk with you. Thank you.